Hey there. Today I wanted to talk about something that I've experienced now. That I never really quite understood before this last year or so. A lot of people have all said, a lot of us have said, boy, we were just, 2024 was like a year, right? Like 2024 was like the year that a lot of us got really tested, right? And, I know you probably have heard people in the past say things like, the glow up is real. Like when a person glows up after a breakup, right? The proof is in the pudding. So that's kind of what I want to talk about. Like, let's see, how do I say this? In 2023, I had to make a decision for myself. I had to make a decision, right? That I knew was, and in my heart and in my spirit was the right one for me because of my health, right? I was in a relationship with somebody that did not intentionally, wish me evil or anything like that. But the stress of being with this person just really affected me over time. It was a very slow demise. But when I say slow, I mean it took time. It took, in total, it was like about 6 years. And y'all, if you see the way that I looked when the person met me, and then the way that I looked when I exited that person, energy, when I left that person, right? The proof is in the pudding, right? There is nothing that nobody can say really and truly what was the right thing to do or what wasn't the right thing to do. And so what I want to really get across today to anyone who cares to listen at all, when you are with the wrong person, it will show on your body who in the relationship is gaining from being with them, right? So let me tell you what I mean. Like, when you're in a relationship with somebody and somebody is an overgiver and somebody is being used, or somebody is exerting out energy that maybe they don't have, or in some way, shape, or form, somebody is benefiting from the other person more, right? Okay, emotionally especially, right? It will show when you look at the couple. It will just show. One of them will usually start to look haggard, worn down. And the other person will usually look better. The other person, because they are reaping the benefits of the sacrifices of the one person, they will tend to kind of like look better, I mean, this isn't always 100%, but this is something that you will see. So like, for example, if you're in a relationship with somebody and you notice your health start to go down, that, maybe you'll start gaining weight. Maybe you will start losing your hair. Maybe, like me, I'll get pimples all over my face. I'll just literally have pimples all over my face. I mean, at one point, I was allergic to everything. When I say everything was causing me an allergic reaction, to the point that my eyes were swelling shut and I looked like I had 2 black eyes constantly because the stress had gotten so bad for me. And, I just didn't look good. I didn't look well. By the time I was exiting out of this relationship, my blood pressure was so high. And my, that I apparently I had a stroke. I didn't even know I had the stroke, but apparently I did. They told me at the hospital that I had a stroke. Thankfully it didn't affect me or whatever, as far as, but it was there, right? And, I also had ulcers. I also literally had to have surgery, it was actually emergency surgery because I, didn't realize that I basically blew up my stomach. And stress is what started it, okay? Like, you see, I had to have a come to Jesus moment with Jehovah God. And was like, look, I am not trying to do this person ill or wrong or anything, or do the wrong thing, or, but I try to express my feelings and the things, my needs and things that I was needing, in the relationship or whatever. And, some people, they're just not willing to change, right? Like, you may or may not be asking a whole lot of somebody, right? But like, whatever it is you are asking, they consider it to be too much, or they just don't want to do it. Like, everybody has their own free will to do whatever it is they want to do, right? And if you ask somebody over and over and over again to do this or that, like, maybe don't yell so loud, don't scream so loud when they talk to you, or, different things that are causing you to emotionally, be in a jumpy place, like you're always walking on eggshells and stuff, and it's affecting you, right? Eventually, you just come to this place where you're like, my health is really failing, and you got to do what's right for you, right? And, so what I'm saying is that there comes a time where you have to just do whatever is right for you, okay? Because the proof is in the pudding. Because it's like, what you're looking at is a slow deterioration or a slow death is what you're looking, what you know that you're actually facing if you stay with the person. And it's not so much that it's not about hating the person or loving that person or, wanting to wanting to talk bad about that person or wanting their demise, right? But it's just more about doing what you need to do. Like what's best for you. And, okay, so I'm going to show you a picture of myself and what I looked like when I met this person. I don't know if you can see that, but, that's an unaltered photo. That's not altered photo. That was me when I had finished up my aesthetics license, right? And, trying to see if you can actually see my hair. Here's a good photo of what my hair looked like. I'm gonna try to zoom in. That was what my hair looked like when I met that person. Okay. That's how he met me. My hair was looking like that. Okay. And by the time I exited that relationship, this is what my hair was looking like. Okay. Now I'm actually here working on one of my clients, and they were taking pictures of me, and this is how bad. Okay. That's what I looked like as I was exiting out of that relationship. Right. And when I say, I actually lost my hair several times in that relationship. Right. And it was stress. It was very much stress related. It's just kind of what happens to me. Right now. This is, also kind of what I started to look like at my worst, as I was going through different stresses. And believe me, friends and family saw what I was going through. Okay. That's what stress will do to you. I have always been a person that was maybe had a little bit of allergies, but the allergies that I was experiencing were it was a lot. I was all of a sudden allergic to things that I was always able to eat. That, was no longer, I just couldn't eat it. And as you can see, my face breaking out, literally. My eyes were always swollen for something, right? And I was in a constant state of breakout. And I mean, guys, I have so many photos of me and these were all different times. Like, this wasn't like just 1 week. This wasn't just like one time, right? I went through this very bad state where my eyes were blowing up. I was breaking out. My pimples, my hair was falling out. This was definitely happening, over about a year. At the worst of it, it was consistently for about a year and a half. It was just constant. And it was like different things that I was eating, but these are the same things that I was eating that I always ate before, that, same things that I was always eating, right? But it was just like all of a sudden, one day eating it, one day the next day I couldn't eat it. And guys, I didn't even look this bad after my first husband passed away. I mean, I did lose hair. I lost my hair, but I got it back rather quickly, actually. But I didn't even look this bad when my husband died. I just kind of like lost weight, but that's also because I didn't feel like eating and because I went gluten-free. But I did lose my hair, but eventually it kind of came back. It definitely came back, because that picture I showed you before I met that person and got into a relationship with that other person, that was about 5 years after my husband died. So clearly my hair came back, right? And I've lost my hair, gained my hair so many times, it's not even funny. Okay? And then sometimes, while I was, in a relationship with that person, sometimes he would go out of town for like 6 to 8 weeks. He would have to work out of town. And when he did, this was the effect. Now, this was, so after what I showed you guys, at the worst of my state of hair and everything or whatever, and then, he would go out. This happened twice. He would go out of town. At least 2 times I remember that he'd be gone for 6 to 8 weeks, where during this time, I was able to focus on myself, right? I was able to kind of like nurture myself, love myself, and do what I needed to do. Basically, there was no stress on me. And this is what I would end up looking like. It was like hair growing back and me being cute again. As you can see, I was in a relationship, right? Okay. But this is what I look like. Now, this person, I'm not demonizing him by any means, but it's clear that my hair was coming back and I was starting to look more like myself, right? Again, this is what, let me say, and this is what focusing on yourself would look like. Okay? Like, next thing you know, that person is not around, you can focus on yourself, and what happens? So what I'm showing you is what I'm literally breaking down, and I'm really wanting to explain, especially women, but I know this happens to men too. It definitely happens to men too, but especially women, right? It is like literally like clear evidence. When there is a glow up, when somebody leaves your space, or you leave somebody's energy, right? And you glow up. The proof is just in the pudding. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. Okay? It's not to demonize that person or to, make any, because again, like, I want to make this very clear. Like, I have made peace with that person and we're fine. We're really fine. Everything is okay. But the reason why is because I had to like leave. I had to not be around that person. I had to make the decision that this was not the best path for me, and I had to pray to God, like, to forgive me for whatever sins I incurred and whatever sins I'm about to incur, right? But I just knew that God could look at me and also tell and see what was going on inside of me, that he didn't want me to die either. He doesn't want me to die an early death. That I didn't need to martyr myself. I didn't need to be a martyr in this relationship, right? But the proof was literally the proof is in the pudding. Okay. And every time that person left, I glowed up. And then when I did leave permanently, the glow up started to happen. It took a little, gonna take a little minute. It takes like a couple months or whatever to regain your footing back, to start looking good again, right? And then again, when I entered into the next relationship, I didn't experience it right away, but in 1 month's time after I had a ceremony with somebody, I entered looking in one way, and in less than a month, I came out looking like a hot mess. To the point that my friends and family, like I said, people could see it all over me. I was losing my hair again in less than 30 days. because I don't do well with stress. I really don't do well with stress, right? But a lot of us don't. But when you don't listen to your body, you don't listen to your intuition, you don't listen to what you know is to be true inside of you, it will start to take its toll on the outside of you, right? Especially a lot of us women who are very sensitive or empaths, and we absorb energy too strong. And I'm really learning that I have to be more careful about the energy that I absorb and who I put myself around, and making sure that I don't absorb their energy, right? Because it affects me so much. And I'm sorry, but no, I'm working too hard, especially at this age. It's like, how many comebacks does the person have to have? How many comebacks do I have to have, right? Before I trust myself and know that I'm doing the right thing for me, right? Like, I don't need to continue to have these downgrades because I've allowed myself to be around somebody's energy that isn't right for me. All right. So I feel like God has really showed me several times over and over and over again, like, no, you know what's best for you. And I'm blessing you on that path. I'm going to bless you and keep you on that path. Right. Because I enter into relationships and, with a good heart and with good intention to unconditionally love whoever, and to give to them. And I think or I expect that I'm going to be given back the same type of energy. And it's happened to me now twice that I was not given back that same energy. Now, I was briefly in a, if you want to call relationship with somebody, for in between those two or longer term relationships or whatever, for about a little over a year with somebody. And he was very sweet and very kind. And the situation didn't work out. Our situations didn't match. But it was very clear that the two of us together, when we were together, we were both glowing up. We both had a mini glow up, if you want to say glow up. He was looking better, and he was, looking healthier than when I met him. And he was looking brighter in the face and stronger. I mean, I literally remember him saying that other people had noticed him looking better and stronger and fit, He loved my protein shakes that I made for him. He really took well to them, but I also did them for myself. And the energy that me and him brought together, the friendship, it really was more of a friendship, I would have to say. But the comradeship, or what is that word? Camaraderie, when you are the friendship. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. Or I think they say like kindred spirits, right? When two people are just kindred spirits and the energy is good, the vibes are good between the two. I know for me, my hair grew crazy. I know I have some pictures somewhere, but my hair grew, out like this. And everybody kept telling me, I kept hearing all the time, like, you have such a pretty smile. Look at that smile on your face or whatever. I mean, I definitely had friends who noticed that I was doing better. Everybody attributed it to me just leaving my past relationship or my past marriage or whatever. But the truth is that I really, I was in a good time. I was able to focus on myself, but I also had good energy coming back to me. I had it, and we were in I was in a happy place, as far as like energy was being kind of like, back and forth. And so it felt good. I mean, it was a nice little flow, right, that I had for about a year. And it showed on my body, and it showed, I couldn't hide it, that I was, feeling happy, looking happy, and I had a bounce to my step. And then of course it got interrupted when, I made the decision to revisit an ex, and after a ceremony situation, and experienced some narcissistic traits and things that were, for me, a very unlivable situation, and stressed me all the way, just stressed me out. Okay. I was stressed all the way out. Like, there was this, like, no denying, like I said, in less than 30 days, I was losing hair, my pimples and everything. I was looking a hot mess. I was feeling horrible. My blood pressure, everything. Like, my body gets out of whack really fast. So now I'm sharing this because I think there's a lot of women out there who are overgivers, overlovers, and we think we're going to get the same, what we put out, we're going to get back, and you will get it back. It just doesn't always come back from the person that you think you should get it from. Or, God says, you reap what you sow. Karma is real. Like, you will get back what you put out to the world, but it won't always come back from that person who's in devil energy, right? And let me tell you what I mean when I say devil energy. I'm going to break this down, right? I'm going to read it because I'm not being mean. I'm literally just going to describe it. I'm going to read it. You can type in on Google, you can type in devil energy. And this is a metaphorical term typically used in a spiritual context to describe a feeling of being consumed by negative desires, obsessions. Okay, hold on, let me hold this. Obsessions, addictions, a sense of being trapped by one's own impulses, often associated with a lack of control and a tendency towards self-destructive behavior. It essentially represents the darker side of human nature, drawing parallels to the devil figure in mythology, okay? Now it says negative connotations like devil energy, when people say you're in devil energy, right? It generally is considered a negative energy, signifying the indulgence in harmful habits, manipulation, deceit, and a lack of self-awareness. So if somebody is trying to have a level of manipulation with you, emotional manipulation, mental manipulation, they're manipulating your money, manipulating, your goals, or manipulation of any kind. Okay? And they're using deceit, lies, or whatever. That's considered devil energy. Being bound by one's desires or trapped in a negative situation. Okay, so basically, when you think of the devil, when you think of Satan the devil, right? What did he do? He used lies and deceit. He used lies to deceive Eve, right? And Adam too, right? And he manipulated the snake to talk. Snakes didn't talk. Okay? And that's not how Jehovah created them. But he manipulated that snake, okay, to talk and to speak these lies. Okay? That's what the devil does. That is what the devil does. And when someone does that to you, right, they are kicking out devil energy to you. And that's what you're dealing with. And it's going to affect you. It's going to affect your body. Some people gain weight. Some people lose weight. Some people, lose their hair. Some people, their hair goes gray or whatever. It's going to affect you. You're going to get pimples. You might have a stroke. You might, whatever the case, right? Because it's negative energy that's coming towards you. Whether the person is meaning to do this or not, whether they are on purpose trying to manipulate you, or whether they even realize. Some people, just are so used to living and acting a certain way, and they've been doing it for so long to get what they want, they don't even realize that what they're doing is a form of manipulation, right? They don't even realize it. It's like they think it's just normal. I'm going to give you a good example of that for as far as on a female side. Now, men do this, definitely. And I think we could all probably think of plenty of ways that men do this, right? But let's say a woman that is in devil energy, right? And a way that she might try to manipulate, a common way, right, is when women will try to purposely sleep with these ball players, or singers, or whoever's rich, or whoever they think is rich, and they purposely try to sleep with them to try to have a baby, right? To trap them, to literally trap them so that they can guarantee some money. They're looking at it like, well, if I have his baby, whatever, I get to trap him, and if nothing else, he has to provide for me, or whatever, right? That's considered, like, seriously, that's devil energy. Like, you're not trying to, like, fall in love first, and then have his baby out of love. Now, I absolutely know that plenty of people do that, and he might just happen to be a ball player or whatever, right? That's not, I'm definitely not talking about that. It's just when you go in with the intention to trap somebody, let's say with a child, or whatever, trap them in some sort of way, manipulation of some sort, right? For your gain, specifically for your gain, not for, unconditional love. Not, like, in other words, you're trying to trap them. And for whatever reason, you don't feel like you have the ability with your personality and maybe with God's blessing, good grace, that you might just be able to keep them because you love each other. It's like it's like it doesn't occur to a person that, wow, if I develop some personal skills, if I develop some of my own, some good skills, if I develop some godly spirituality, I might attract real love into my life. I might actually need to be attractive. But it's like, no, it's just easier for me to just get in this devil energy and do this manipulation, lies, and, trap people to try to get them to be stuck with you, right? Like, all kinds of things that people do. All kinds of things, right? So I'm just illuminating that sometimes it takes a while for us to realize even what's really happening, but the proof will be in the pudding, right? And when you see two people in a relationship and one looks haggard and torn and broke down and the other one doesn't, well, you can tell who is doing the manipulation. You can usually tell who's doing the manipulation, right? Now, that doesn't happen right away because a lot of times eventually that kind of energy will get sent back to them and they will start to feel a stress, and it will affect that person's, the person who's doing it. They will get that energy returned back because that is part of universal law. Whatever you put out will come back to you eventually, somehow, some way. Maybe not by that person you're doing it to, but by somebody or somehow. That is just universal law. Like, Jehovah will make sure that you get, that you reap what you sow, that you will get that back to you in some sort of way, right? But it may take time or whatever, but initially when you see two people together and you see one is doing all the glow up and the other one is not, right? That should be a sign and a signal to yourself that you can right away, you know what's happening, like, what's going on, right? And I know for me, it's always been my goal that when I enter into a relationship, I want that other person to look better, feel better. I want it to be like, wow, I'm an asset to their life, that my love or my energy is good for them, and that people are saying good things like, wow, you have, improved since so-and-so has entered in your life. Like, I felt that way about Travis for sure. I felt the way about all my relationships, but I can remember feeling like that with Travis. Like, I wanted to aid in his, because he was skinny when I met him. So, but he went to the gym after we got married and everything. He wanted to get muscles. I remember he was just like, I want to get muscles. And I know a lot of it was him just kind of growing into his manhood. We were young. And, but I wanted to support him. And I remember I did all his prepping for all his food preps and his protein shakes and his herbs and things. I just remember helping him, doing all that different stuff, whatever it was, making sure he had his gym stuff ready to go or whatever. I remember going to his meets with him because he did powerlifting. And, but I was proud of him. And I just loved him and I wanted to support him in him doing better and looking better. And that was a good thing. It's a good thing when you can grow together with somebody, like when the two of you can grow. That is also something that's rare. It doesn't happen in our relationships. Usually one person may grow or one person is doing the benefiting, right? In any case, I'm just kind of sharing my thoughts and my personal experiences. I am not, by any means, trying to, degrade anybody or make anybody feel bad, right? Because I do feel a lot of times people, especially my exes, I don't feel that they intentionally, for sure, don't intentionally try to make anybody look worse, right? Or their body to go downhill. I just think it's just kind of, it is really just an effect. It's like a cause and effect. It's just a cause and effect. And so if they have humility about themselves, they can look in the mirror and have a little bit of humility and say, you know what? There might be something about my personality or the way that I show up in relationships that is a little devil energy, right? That could cause not the best effect in my mate or in my other person, right? So if they have humility, they will do that. They will take a look at themselves, right? And show up how, and be honest about how they show up in relationships, right? In any case, but again, I'm just sharing this I'm sharing my own experience. For anybody out there who just, it's like, I want to give you encouragement. When you leave and decide to separate or whatever, or try to, be by yourself or whatever, so that, you can work on yourself, and that's your intention. It's not to hurt anybody or whatever, and you go to God and you pray and you ask for his blessings and you ask for his direction, and you know that God doesn't like a separation. We all know that. He doesn't like families and things to separate, right? But he also knows when he can look at a situation and see like that it's not going to be the best thing for you, or it's not beneficial for you, right? And you will know when God either blocks you or blesses you. If he blesses you on out, it was because he can look at the situation and see that that you are not going to reap the rewards that you should by being in a loving relationship, and it wasn't going to be a real threefold cord. You, that other person, and God. Okay. And so I can just, give my own personal experiences to this, in that God has helped me twice now to do what was best for me, right? And he does that for those that he wants to bestow Holy Spirit and blessings on, when he can see that person out of humility and love, they come to them and ask for help, and he can see what's right and what's best for the whole situation, and he will help you. He will, if it is the right thing, if it is in fact the right thing for you to do, right? And so I just encourage everybody to have their own relationship with God and to pray, but if you are exhibiting some of what I just showed you and some of what I just talked about, it might be time to look at your environment, look at who's in your environment, and see where the energy is coming from. And if the energy, if it is good for you, if you're glowing up or you are glowing down, and then you have to make your own decision for yourself, right? But I'm just sharing my own personal experience. And I know for me, personally, I'm not going to continue to go through situations like this. I'm not. No. I work too hard, and I have to, do too much, and I put out too much love, and, I'm just not going to do it. Because I can see now that, I feel that I know how God feels about me, and I feel like I can see how God feels about situations like that. He doesn't want anybody to feel like they're living in a living hell, or going to be living a slow death. No. Okay. And this time around, I'm growing my hair, as I grow my hair back around, I'm definitely not about to give no man power again for me to lose my hair. No. I'll lose my hair for God if it was for God's sake, right? Because I could care less. I'll put on a wig. I don't really care that much anyway. There are days that I even will put on a wig just when I don't even want to deal with my curls and my puffiness, right? Or whatever, especially during the wintertime, because I actually do like wigs during the wintertime because it's warm. But the fact is that, I am the things that I've been realizing about life and in general and everything, I'm in a place now where, I'm in a good place, and I'm going to stay here. I don't plan on relinquishing my power and my energy and bestowing it on the wrong recipients. I just won't. I'm not doing it again. And, and if you're somebody who is watching this and you have noticed that the person you're with is not having a glow up, but they're having a glow down, then I encourage you to look in the mirror and have some humility about yourself and check yourself. And ask yourself, are you adding to that person's pain? Are you aggravating that person's soul? Are you kicking out negative energy to either them or people around you or other people? Are you always speaking negative? Are you the type of person to wish blessings and good on others? Because I know for me, in my prayer, when I pray, and I pray to God and I ask him, I say, you know what? I pray for my enemies, and I pray for peace, and I pray for those who are wishing ill upon me, or anybody that I don't even know about or whatever. I still wish and pray that they have peace, and that they have, whatever God feels is, best for them. But for them to keep my name out of their mouth. And that if they do want to continue to say anything negative or anything, or wish ill upon me or whatever, that Jehovah send that energy right back to them immediately, tenfold, if he deem fit. So it's like, if they wishing for my downfall or anything like that, it's on my prayer. My prayer is on repeat, that he send that negative energy right back to them immediately. Okay, as he sees fit, threefold, tenfold, twofold, whatever. So that the person knows, starts to catch on. Don't wish ill or speak negative over me, right? At all, right? And then you learn to start talking positive. You learn to start being kind to your mate, or being kind to your whoever, right? Whether it could be a boss, it could be somebody you're working for or whatever, right? But it's like, people need to understand that if a person is going downhill and they're in your energy, or you're causing them this type of negative stress or whatever, eventually at some point, whatever energy that you're putting out, it will come back to you. It will. Okay? These are just universal laws, right? And so, yes, that's something that I, just kind of wanted to get off my chest. Bye.